Mate, this is not a chair. I'm not reviewing a chair. It's not happening, right? They go back, they go forwards, they go up, they go down. They look like car seats, and they're generally made of PU leather, and they all kind of come from the same place, made from the same parts generally. What more can you say about gaming chairs at this point that hasn't already been said? So, I might accidentally say it's a review, but it's not. So when Boulies got in touch, right, about 7 weeks ago, and they were like, do you want another chair to review on the channel? I was like, no, actually, I'm all right. Until I looked at their website and saw fabric chairs were a thing. Do you know what? I've been sat on a PU leather chair for 15 plus hours a day for 7 years. The thought of actually using a fabric chair instead for home office working. Well, you know what? That's actually up my street. There's an appeal there for me. So I thought, sure, send me one over. So they did. And I took receipt of this. The Boulies Elite Series Ash Grey chair, which arrived about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I've put a good 200 plus hours into this chair over the last 5 or 6 weeks. I'm not, obviously I'm not going to do a video the day it arrives. I'm not that guy that does the, I'm still excited video. And you can see the dirt on the wheels. This has seen a lot of use. I've replaced my DX Racer chair with this. Being straight with you, the DX Racer chair is more comfortable in terms of a supportive and structural point of view, right? That immediate sort of, as soon as you sit in it. The DX Racer King Series chair is just bigger. I'm quite wide framed, and that felt more of a stronger chair. Whereas this one, fabric, man, honestly, what a difference sitting on fabric over PU leather. So much so that I shipped the DX Racer off to the wife at work, and this chair is now my main chair that I'm using all day, every day. Behind my editing workstation. It's not here. If you think, well, why aren't you sat in it right now, mate? I cannot physically get it here. And this is like a closed off area that I can only walk to. So some thoughts and opinions on the Boulies Elite Series Ash Grey chair from someone who's been using it for a good while, if you're thinking about getting one yourself, or a fabric chair. This will sound familiar to anyone who's owned fabric furniture. The first con of owning fabric furniture, especially a chair that you're going to be sat on all day, every day, is pets, if you've got any. So they're going to click it, jumping up and down. The fabric will click. Pet hairs as well. You can be careful with that, right? You can micromanage that if you've got the time, if you've got the patience to do that. Bit of lint roller, will get the pet hairs off it, but they will click it eventually, right? There's just no getting away from that, especially with cats. Then you've got fraying and bobbling of fabric. It's inevitable. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when that happens. Shuffling around, moving backwards and forwards on fabric, your fabric on that fabric, it will ultimately eventually fray and bobble up. And as you're shuffling around, if you're wearing grown-up clothes, which I don't, you've got dark jeans on, for example, 2 problems with that. First one is dye transfer, especially if you've got a light grey chair and you're wearing dark blue jeans. Over time, you may cause dye transfer onto fabric. Potential for ripping as well. If you've got jeans with zips or any kind of sort of badge on the pocket or buckles or buttons or something like that, there is a chance of causing a rip in the fabric. It's a risk. Might not happen, but it could. It's just a risk. There's potential for stains if you eat at work, liquids, foods, dropping a bit of chocolate on the chair. It's happened to me already. Just eating a bit of Galaxy chocolate, just the tiniest smidgen drops onto the chair, and that's it. It just seems to just explode, and its mass increases as soon as it hits the chair. Some things are easy to clean, some won't be when they hit the fabric. Whereas with PU leather, it's just a case of getting the hoover out, the vacuum, or in wiping it off. Then there's repetitive knocking against objects in the vicinity. If you've got a computer on the ground or a set of drawers and you've got the chair moving around and it's bouncing against the same object over and over again, there's the potential for the fabric to ultimately wear down over time and rip. So that seems like a lot, but these are just things you kind of just live with and you micromanage and just be careful with. In my opinion, all worthwhile because this thing is so damn comfortable to sit in. And like I said, it's replaced my main seat in my office behind my editing workstation. So on Boulies' website, their marketing material, honestly, I would take this all with a pinch of salt. They've said the material is high-grade material. That's, sure, what does that mean? I don't know. When you rub your hand against the material, it's nice. It's like that sort of coarse sofa fabric feeling thing. The black area looks like suede, but it won't be suede, but it looks like suede. How that fares over time, who knows, but I've put a good couple of 100 hours into this already and it's done well so far. I'd imagine it'll sort of colour fade over time, the black, but the grey should last quite well. Some of this is absolutely shocking. Like this should be taken off the site. This is unacceptable. I don't know how they're allowed, but you don't sit against that. So this image here is shocking. What is that? The front of the seat is as flat as a wall, like this bit here. What does this mean? This bit counts for not. Anyway, the lumbar support cushions though. I am a fan of lumbar support. Not everyone is, but the lumbar support cushions feel really nice. They've got the same sort of velvety, suede-y sort of texture as the black piping, and I appreciate those. How they last, I don't know. The DX Racer cushions that I had on that chair didn't last so well. These ones, I've got a feeling they're going to snap at these points because this is stretched. It goes through that little opening there and then it sort of extends out and it's stretched. So I can see this eventually sort of fatiguing and snapping at this point here. The hardware on the chairs is not great. And this is where I think it's not worth the $299 price tag, unfortunately. This, in my opinion, is roughly a $249.99 at max price point chair, because the plastics used in the hardware is just not great. Like this here is not really representative of how the quality of that plastic is. It's cheap, it's flimsy, it's weak, and it's just poor quality plastic all around. The arms that they've used though, these are quite strong. These are much better than the likes of, I've got a Noble chair here. This is the Noble AMG Patronus Formula 1 edition chair. The arms on this are absolutely horrible, like really bad. The arms on this one, much better than the first edition Boulies chair that I got. So on the first edition one, when you sat on it originally, and your arms would hit the rests, the rests would just spring out like that, and they got worse over like a year, to the point where I just sold the chair. I couldn't take it anymore. It was driving me insane. When you were working, just moving the mouse, your arm would slip because these things would just bend outwards. They've fixed that by locking these, and the only way these will move is now by pressing 2 buttons simultaneously to unlock that mechanism. So I appreciate that. That's a good design choice. But there's just no innovation anywhere else in this. The base itself is just a standard, give us a base, and there's no aesthetic to it. There's no design to it. It's just a regular base. The wheels are just plastic wheels. The hardware, the pistons, just regular pistons. It's just nothing special other than it being fabric. It's just a regular shaped gaming chair. It's a good size as well. I'm about 5'10", 5'11" ish, and I'm not chunky, but I'm quite wide framed, and I fit in that pretty well. $299 to stretch. There's a currently £20 discount, $279.99. You know, if money's not really a problem for you, then sure. I think they've done a pretty good job of it. Yeah, anyway, that's it. That's pretty much all I've really got to say about it. And if you're thinking about getting a chair yourself, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people, if they do come across this video, saying, well, what about this chair? What about that chair? What about that fabric chair? I don't know. This is the only fabric chair I've come across. It's the only one I can vouch for. So I'll put this linked in the description. If there's any codes given to me for discounts, I'll put those in the description as well. But yeah, I'm going to be using this one daily as my main editing chair that I'm just going to be sat at all day, every day. It won't be here because I can't get it here, like I say, but it's the one I'll be using all day, every day. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching Tech3D, man. My name is Neil Cross, and I'll see you in the next one. Doodles.